What's up, my familia?
Hello, everybody. Let's fire one out for the motherland.
The Iron Laddies are here.
Hey,
Depending when this drops, it might be outdated. But happy
that's a
St.
great
Patrick's
time to be
Day.
alive. Hey, that's true. That's true. Well, today is technically St. Patty's Day.
St. Patty Day is over here.
It's about a man driving. He's driving snakes out of the country.
With a stick, right?
You know, he pinches them. He's the pincher.
The pincher.
He's
walking around like
his oils. He's always like, Siri, I'm working on my pinching, and he's played by what else is his name?
Joe Pincher.
No man, freaking Superman.
Oh,
Henry Cavill. He's played by Henry Cavill. He goes around pinching the snakes and the monsters, and he's celebrated as a hero. So yeah, there is one for St. Patty the Pincher. True story.
Where you gotta wear your green. If not, tell them a quick story of your pinching days back in high school.
I used to pinch it off a lot.
Used to corner people pinching like, "Where's your green? Where's your like? No, I got my green card. It's okay. Stop it."
Nice pinch. And then you pinch somebody, and then they're like, "No, I'm wearing green." And it's like a necklace that they wear every damn day, and it's like, that's not fair. That
does not count.
Say,
like, I have my socks. I have my socks. My underwear.
Their work uniform, like, get out of here. That does not count either. You made no efforts.
Exactly, dude.
You've got to celebrate.
Celebrate responsibly. So yeah, guys, we're here to discuss the finale of The Last of Us, Finding the Light, or something like that. Episode 9.
No. The first episode, When You're in the Darkness. It was the first half of the Firefly's motto. Second half, Follow the Light. And that was the end. That was the end of this work. So this episode is called Follow the Light.
Ooh, because they have lights in their butts.
Yeah, and it's actually like a whole mating call. But anyone who's not from here, if you've ever seen fireflies, it's beautiful. It's so magical. It's really cool to watch them. And I used to smash them with a wiffle ball bat, and then the bat itself glowed. And man, hindsight, like, kind of fucked up, but watching them though is really cool.
So you're making your own neon lights and stuff. Yeah,
or you trap them in a jar like a little dumbass, like, I like they're in a jar. How worth the movie? Like, yeah, kid. I don't know who encouraged that, but it was a thing.
Like, oh wow, at least you're getting your exercise.
Yeah, some country nonsense for you.
So, guys, we start off with someone running in the woods, panicking, and then she has a bigger stomach than me, but I'm almost there too. And then we see her like she's like heavy in labor. She's like, oh. Then we didn't see like she's panicking. The pain in her face. She's running, and she's like, oh no.
You know what's cool is the character was modeled after the actress, so she looks like her. She looks a lot like Ellie.
Ellie.
Even though people are saying Bella Ramsey looks like a thumb, people are she looks a lot like her. You can look at her at Ashley Johnson and say, like, yeah, dude, like, that's her mom. She looks a lot like her. So she was like a scan. So I thought that was pretty cool. We got the voice of Joel and Ellie, not at all ever talking to each other in the show, but there it is.
Probably offset, but yeah, it's true, huh?
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, so she's running and running. She's like, "Oh crap, we don't know what was happening. We're just lost with her. We're just traveling, and then we see this big abandoned house. We're like, oh, cool. What is this? A house out of nowhere. So she goes in there. She barricades the door, and then she's going up the stairs, and she looks down. She's like, she has the wet fingers. She's like, oh no. And then she runs to the top because she's like, hello, anybody here? Hello. And then nobody responded. So she's going upstairs, and then she puts another chair in front of another door, and she sits down in the corner, and all of a sudden you hear a stone cold glass break. Oh hell yeah!
Hell yeah!
So we hear the glass break, and then we hear like dun, 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 like running up the stairs. Or like, oh no, that's when the realization hits. She's like, it can't be, you know?
Yeah. So he pops in and they wrestle a little bit, and then she gives him the old.
So we get a French kisser. Oh my god! They got the hitman. So yeah, so the French kissers, like they're wrestling on the floor. She's like, oh, get off me. She's like, no. And then throughout this whole excitement, she's reaching for the knife, and she goes, boom. You hear a clumps, but then after that, we hear a baby cry. We're like, what the hell? Like during the fight, she was giving birth. A little distraction, like no screaming.
Yeah.
I guess that should be the new how to give birth method of being scared, so you feel no pain.
Yeah. Pretty wild.
The adrenaline.
Doctor, she didn't have a plan. And then so we see what happened. That she's like, oh shit, I gotta hurry and cut the cord. But it was too late. And she found out that she was bit.
Yes.
She looks at her leg. She's like, oh man, I got bit.
But like, my question is, yeah, go ahead. Yep.
I don't know. All these people end up bit, like for the story. You never see them get bit though. It's like, what did it happen?
That's what I'm saying. Like, did she get bit running in the woods? Like, that's why she was running away. Like, she probably got bit, and she's like, "Oh crap, I gotta go."
I don't know.
Or
it's probably implied that it happened right then.
But I'm saying, I saw it frame by frame, and her mouth didn't go nowhere near her legs. It was like up in her face type of thing. You know, she was guarding. She was a half guard, knife. She didn't go down or anything.
Then another thing, like, Ellie's mom must just be very stupid to just be alone when she's about to pop any minute in freaking fungal zombie world. Like, we never saw what she was running from.
Exactly.
Or what led her to being in that scenario, but like come on, chick. Like, you should be just sitting on your ass. You should not be moving.
Well, I feel like someone got infected and didn't know, and then turned, and the whole little population of her crowd got fucking overrun, and she escaped.
Yeah, you know, it's possible. We don't know.
Or she probably was one of her friends, and she bit her leg. But the way her face was already fungus, I don't think it was in a quick turn. I feel like she's been turned a long time ago. But that's how I felt. Like, I feel like she already got bit, and that's why she was running away from that threat into the fireflies. Like, and then we find out that she gives birth, and then she goes, "That's right, Ellie. Tell the whole world that I F-off." And like, oh no, it's baby Ellie.
Yeah.
So yeah, so like you said, she cuts the cord. You know, she realized like, oh crap. So she cuts it, and then that's when we see Marlene and like two other fireflies do the whole clearing out the house, you know, and she goes, hello. And then we hear singing from up one of the rooms. And of course, her name is Anna. She's like, Anna, what happened? She's like, here, take her with Boston. She puts a knife on Ellie's chest. She's like, here, take it and erase it. Like, you know, I can. She goes, you know how long we've been together?
She says, I cut the cord before I got bit.
Did she now? No, she didn't.
Lying.
She's lying.
That's how we know. But you know what? It's brave. It's brave. I don't know. It's new. They never mentioned anything about this in the game. This is all new. This is why Ellie's immune.
which is pretty cool. You know, it gives you a little nice tie. Put a bow on it.
Yeah, which doesn't affect the end result at all, but it gives us a little more insight, I guess.
Exactly. So yeah, so Anne tells Marlene, "You gotta finish this." She's like, "I can't do it. Do it." She empties a round in her head and she collapses.
No, she's like, I can't do it, and then she leaves. And
Oh
then she
yeah,
goes upstairs. She comes back up and she's like, all right, you know what? Ah!
Bah. She like, you know what? She's gonna come. So yeah, it's funny. He says, cover Ellie's ears. That fool doesn't even cover her ears or anything. She's like,
Yeah, I was thinking that too. I was like, he's not covering her ears.
then she just pops off. I'm like, okay, you know they were actually using a real baby.
Obviously, it was definitely a real baby. What do you mean?
I mean, you know how nowadays like CGI babies and stuff.
Deep fakes, AI babies.
It's actually a hornswoggle or something.
Yeah, there's this. Never mind. I'm not going out. Yeah, jeez.
So after that, we fast forward. You see Ellie sitting in the bed truck, and then Joe's like, "Ellie, Ellie," and it's all like muffled, and she's just like zoned out, like distraught. She's just like, I don't know if she's replaying the events of last episode, what happened, or she just seems out of it. You know, like it's not Ellie anymore. It's just like a little shaken. She's shaken up. You could say that. You know, and of course they're clearing out the trailers and they're walking. So yeah, so of course, and then Joel's like, all right, and Ellie tells Joel the plan. All right, we're gonna cut through this field, go up to the highest tower, and we're gonna see everything. And she goes, no, you know what? I found some dynamite. We're gonna blow our way through. It's like, really? He's like, no.
Yeah, you don't know me.
You don't know. It could have been different. So yeah, so they go through the giant tall building, and he does the thing in the game. Like, all right, lift me up. So that's the little, what's it called? The little boost stuff.
Yeah, but before that though, they had that heart to heart.
Heart to heart.
Yeah, where they talk about. That's before that. That's down there on the ground.
That's later, no?
No, it's before they go in the building.
Oh, okay.
So they have that heart to heart, and they have a little chitty chat. And he's like, "Yeah, my daughter, she was really cool." And then I tried to kill myself, and I didn't do it, but I was ready. I sneezed, and then I shot the wall, and then I laughed, and then I was done. And then she's like, "I'm glad you didn't take it."
Well,
You think?
that's the fast forward scene, but yeah.
It for
Anyway,
sure was before they went to skyscraper.
that was after.
All right, whatever.
Anyways, so yeah, so that's what Hitman said. You know, it's then they go in the building and does the boost up, and Ellie's like, Joe's like, "Give me the ladder," and then Joe's like, "Holy shit, Joe, look at this!" Like, Ellie, damn it, wait! And then what she sees, the scene in Jurassic Park
Yeah.
with the long necked dinosaur. We
Wait,
see.
I don't know
you
how
see-
their theme song goes.
Dun, 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 dun,
Oh yeah, have you seen their the hover cars? And oh my god, they're next level. They're so cool.
Yeah, it's fucking badass.
Oh yeah.
So yeah, so they see the Toys R Us kid, Jeffrey the giraffe.
Yeah, he's out of a job.
He's over here looking for leaves.
Well, good thing it wasn't monkeys. They got the zoo.
Uh,
There should be monkeys. The monkeys are infected.
Hell yeah, throwing crap at you. He's like, "Kuch, kuch."
They've been messing people up left and right.
And it's funny how Joe didn't take no cautions. Like, oh yeah, go ahead. It's like, here, let me rip a whole pack of leaves so you could feed them. I thought he was gonna pick her by the shirt and toss her off the building. It's a rabid giraffe, like, bite her and freaking. It's a cordyceps giraffe. But of course, the zombies would have been gnawing at their feet, right? You would have think.
I also would have thought that.
You would have been eating them. You know Anyways, I don't know.
Because it was implied that the monkeys were
infected.
Yeah.
And they ran away.
Hmm?
Run away. So yeah, like I said, like, you know, it's amazing views. You know, they look down and then you see the pack. You know, a pack of giraffes are called towers.
That's stupid.
I know, right? Thanks, Google.
Right.
So I always had that question, like, what's the pack of giraffes called? They're called towers. I was like, oh.
So if Trump has a group,
It's the Trump giraffes.
witness my Trump towers, my many
Yeah.
towers. They're great, amazing,
So,
huge.
so of course they see everything that's cleared, and it's like, look how amazing it looks. It's so freaking badass, man. So they go down, of course, and then they go through the clearing, and that's when they have the heart to heart, like you were saying, where Joe admits that he, because the whole time it's like, what happened there? It's like this other guy he shot and I missed. Like, oh, both of you are bad shots. Like, yeah. And then he admits, like, you know what? I was trying to kill myself and I missed, and it dragged me here. And then they see like a giant like tents everywhere. Like, what is this, Fedra? It's like, no, this is army way before the bombings, he said.
Yeah.
So I was like, cool. So they're walking down and like, you know what this occasion calls for? And then he's like, Ellie's like, what? You got the pun book on you?
Yeah. Oh, and then he shows there's a Chef Boyardee, which gets her really excited. Dude, that's like 20 years old. It's like, does it really keep that long? Damn. Like,
I mean, if Twinkies could survive the nuclear war, so why not?
I'm pretty sure Twinkies would. But like,
Yeah.
Chef Boyardee?
Yeah, you got the meaty sauce. So no.
But then he tells her that he loves her or whatever, and they have like a whole moment. Yeah,
I
it was
love you. So yeah, so they're walking back. Yeah.
really- Go on.
So they're walking, and then of course they're going to the book, and all of a sudden behind them we see people like creep up behind them and throw a frag in there, a smoke bomb. It's like, and when that thing exploded, I was like, oh shit, it's over. And he's stuck doing the yawn pros. That's awesome. That was the longest yawn ever.
Apparently, go on.
Oh yeah, so when they throw the frag, he's like, and then they go down, everybody's choking, and then you see them pick up Ellie, and then Joe gets butt in the back of the head. But lights out.
Just like he did
Good
last
night.
time.
Just like last time. Man, I suppose this man has concussion from all that. I just like the self-awareness that they don't have at all. They're just carelessly like, oh, it's cool, everything's good, La-di-la-di-da. That's,
Well, they never hear danger coming at all.
which is hilarious. Like, you didn't hear them like crumpling behind you or anything. So yeah,
Yeah.
I'm gonna go through it, and then I'll put my what I would have done type of thing.
You're gonna
So I'm
go
gonna go
through mushroom zombie apocalypse.
Like I'm saying, I'm gonna go through what happens, and then I will come back and I'll say explain everything top to bottom how I would have done it differently. That I didn't like at all. Here we go. So Marlene, Joel wakes up from getting butt in the head. She wakes up to Marlene. It's like, what? Where am I? It's like, oh, I told him that we know who you were. She's like, what? The Fireflies? Like, good job. She's like, yeah, where's Ellie? Like, oh, she's being prepped for surgery. He's like, well, what are you talking about? And then he goes, yeah. And then she tells him like the way she's, what's it called? Immune, because she had it since she grew up with it since birth. So meaning that she was bitten before, and then as she was growing, she was becoming susceptible to the cordyceps. So I was like, damn. So the cordyceps thinks that she's a giant cordyceps walking.
Yeah.
So that creates the pheromones, and then and then that's when Joel realized, like, he's like, wait a second, the cordyceps grow in the brain. You're like, you want to kill her? Like, yeah, it's for the greater good. It's like, you gotta be someone else. And then he steps forward, and then one of the guards got him like, oh, like, oh.
Yeah.
So that's when Marlene
one
tells, go ahead.
Maybe there was a chance that if they had let him see Ellie, that maybe he would have gone through with it.
Slim chance.
Because they they kept him away from her, and he's like, "No, I have to see her. I have to save her." And then it kept being like, "No, I have to get her away from these people. They won't even let me see her. They won't let me say anything to her. They won't let me say goodbye to her."
Exactly.
If they let him do that, we might have had a different outcome. Probably not.
Probably not, but because you see the groan, on them.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, so the Marlene tells them, here, give him this pack, give him the knife. As soon as you escort him to the highway. So the guards are nonchalant, just have their weapons by their chest, walking him out. He's like, what are you gonna do? Like, where is she? She's like, nobody told you to stop, dipshit. It's like, so they're walking him down this stairwell, and all of a sudden, what happened? We're in Rambo territory. Rambo time. What's it? Rambo blood something.
Blood sport.
There you
Rambo
go.
sport.
That's Jacques Van Damme, but it's okay.
Oh yeah.
Anyways, Joe goes all of a sudden OP,
Warriors!
Untouchable, he kills one by, he kills the whole elite.
Have you heard the news? Bison has ended the war. You're gonna say
Van Damme never changed.
Go back to the best movie he's ever been in ever.
So he ends up killing everybody, until he gets to the checkpoint into the doctor. It's funny, the doctor only has this what's it called, the little knife,
Scalpel.
The scalpel. He's like, I'm not gonna let you take him, and then she walks, boom, blows his head out. He's like, you two turn around, face the wall, and then he's like, come here, Ellie.
Daddy.
So she picks up Ellie. Hey, you think Abby is there somewhere?
Well, the actor is, but she is in the facility apparently. Like, he didn't kill everyone in the facility; he just killed a lot of big names.
So yeah, so he's carrying it. Yeah,
Ellie. He picks up Ellie, and then it's like, I guess he has the gun underneath her in case it goes sideways. But he's like very vulnerable at that point, so it's like, is everybody dead? Yeah, I guess so. Cool.
It's a whole Sarah situation all over again.
Yeah, there's no static up until the very end.
So yeah, so they take the elevator all the way down to the parking garage, and then all of a sudden we see Marlene. Joel, it's not too late to turn back, bro. Whatever you did right now, all be forgiven. Just give us Ellie back, and you'll be okay. He's like, okay, really? Bah! She shoots her in the gut. She loads up Ellie to this car, that's been posted right here, charging his batteries.
You think it would have just killed her straight up? Like, why does he shoot her in the gut? Send her massacre.
So he gets in, and she's like, and then as he's driving away, they flashes back to that garage scene, so that he tells the whole story. She goes like, "What now, Joe? What happens if she survives? How long does she have? You never know. She might turn. The clickers might go after her and rip her apart. Raiders. You're not gonna be there forever, Joel. Then what?" She's like, "Yeah, I understand, but it's her choice to do this, She's like, "Let me live, and then we'll forget this." She's like, "No." She's like, "Why?" Because you might come back to her, and then shoots her right between the eyeballs. Okay. Oh. So driving back, Ellie wakes up from her drugginess. She's like, "Oh," she's like, "Where's my clothes?" Like, "Oh, don't worry, we had to go." It's like, "What happened?" Raiders stormed the hospital. You're about to get your blood thing, but it turned out it didn't work because they had other immune people there, and like all this story that he was telling. She's like, "Oh, there a lot of people got hurt." She's like, "Yeah." Like, "How about Marlene?" Like, "I'm sorry, she didn't make it." And she's like, "Okay," and then she just goes back to sleep. So yeah, so they're driving, and of course, then the car dies on them. It's like, it's time for us to go hiking. She gets close out of nowhere. I don't know. They made a pit stop somewhere. So they bought new skins at the skin store or whatever, new clothing.
New DLC skins.
Yeah, and then they're walking and they made it back. On the way they're talking about Sarah like more openly. Before it used to hurt, but now it's like more Like you would have loved her. Like you guys would have been friends. She's like, why? Because you make each other laugh and
She would have been
Yeah.
in her 30s at this point.
sheesh.
Yeah.
So yeah, they're going up there, and then that's when Ellie reveals her what you said, how her first kill was. It was her girlfriend in the mall.
Yeah.
She pops him in the head, and she's like, "Oh my god!" And then Ellie goes, "Swear to me, whatever you told me about what happened back there is true." And he goes, "I swear."
Yeah.
And the theme song hits.
That's it.
Boom!
What do you think? Do you think she knew he was lying?
Yes, you can see it in her eyeballs. Like, fuck, I'm scared.
I think she suspected, but she didn't want to
Shit.
follow it. But she was definitely willing to lay on that table. Like whether they robbed her of the choice, but she was willing to do it. But it wouldn't have mattered anyway.
Exactly.
Joel lost so much already. Like, I'm on Joel's side on this one.
I feel Joe would have lost so much and would have gotten cuckoo head again.
Yeah, it wouldn't have mattered. They would not have gleaned the information they wanted from her, and then she would have died for nothing.
That even hurts more. All right, let's rewind back. All right, this is what I would have done. So after the flashbang, you leave Ellie. They take Ellie, so leave Joe behind. He gets up groggy. He's like, "Ellie, where are you, Ellie?" And he's holding his back of his head. He's like, "Oh, my head." You know, he's throbbing and stuff, and there's like a little breadcrumb, like, what is this? And then you see Ellie's back and the you know, like stuff, you know, opened up, whatever, scattered. Then he comes up to the firefly symbol. He's like, "Oh, that's right, they're around here somewhere." And he sees like guards just chilling, you know. And then he does one of those game moves they do, right? They goes like this. He puts them down.
Up on the guard like 10 times and dies every time.
Exactly. he does one of those, right? And he silences them and he breaks them up.
And
Takes
then
that gun
down on his 56-year-old knees without ever complaining once.
Exactly. My would have been dead. So he does that, right? And he has a gun. He has a gun going in there. He sees another guard. He takes him out. Boom, slowly. He's in the radio, and Marlene's like, "All right, come in, command post. What's going on? Like, it's going dark. Like, where are you guys?" And then she turns around, like, Marlene is like, "Joel." He like, no, it's Joel. Like, he feels Joel behind him. Like, "Joel, stop what you're doing." He's like, "Give me Ellie," and I walk away, and like nobody else has to get hurt. He goes. He's like, "No, give me the gun, put it down, and whatever we promised you back when we made the deal is ready for you in the parking lot. Just take the keys and leave." And he's like, "Your car, ammunition, go back to Tommy, whatever. I know you found them," type of thing, you know, like make it more connectivity like that. Like, I know you found Tommy, go back to him, no, that and leave us be, you know.
It's funny that this is freaking exactly the damn Mandalorian. like, how did this happen? Is that why you chose him?
Yeah, I know, right? And then Marlene is like, and then the other fireflies are gathering around. You're like, this is not gonna end well for you, Joe. So like, he's pointing at Marlene, you know, she's walking past him. He's like, "Where is she?" Like, "He's over there, but I'm letting you know you're not gonna get far if you take her," type of thing. So what happens is he goes in there. He's like, "All right, it's okay, let him have her," and like, we'll find you, Joe. You know, you're not getting away from us. So and then he goes. He's like, "All right," he puts her in the car, and then that's when he goes into the whole elite type of thing. You know, he starts gunning him down. He runs back, or you know, and then takes on the car. They shoot it out, type of thing. You know, like it would have been more. Give the Fireflies more credibility, more like a rogue. You know, they talk about Fedra and this. We never see Fedra. We saw him like once. You know, in the 2-3 episodes, it was just a passing sentence. "Oh, Fedra this, Fedra that." We didn't see him. You know, we didn't see how threaded. We didn't see how the Fireflies operated. We only see like retired people. You know, like
that's the whole thing that people are arguing, that like delve more into the story, do some more background, show some more of how we got here. Like what I was saying, there was only one bit of DLC I think for the game, and that was the Riley scenario
Yeah.
when she got bit and such. But I wanted to see like the Firefly side of things, and how
Yeah.
they came to be where they are, and how they overtook the new military.
Because of the way they're showing them, it's like they're all retired people. You see the guy who put the gun down, it's like, okay, I'm done. Instead of fighting back, it's just, and it's like, dude, what the fuck is this? It's like, no, you gotta sink your
And
teeth
then-
into it.
And Joel still cold capped his ass.
Exactly. Regardless, he had tunnel vision. He already had a goal set. But I'm saying like that, like, I'm saying like it would have been like more like he takes off, there's road spikes, boom, gets out. They still, and then he goes into attack mode, and then you see the fireflies coming, and then because Tommy was with them, so he kind of knows like, all right, Tommy, this and this and that, this is how they operate, and then he's outsmarting them, that would have been better, like show him like he laid out traps before you went in there, like there's traps, like when Arnold faced Predator, he planned it all out before he went after him, like a one man versus a whole army type of thing, you were like, oh no, he already rigged this, he rigged that, the elevator blows up, some shit like that, make it more exciting, I guess, that I wanted. Not just simple point blank A to Z, let's go home. That's what I wanted. Make the fireflies feel it more, like they were their names with fear, like, oh, I'm a rogue, like warriors were angry. I prefer the Karen's freaking army besides they got taken out by fucking clickers. I was just like, another fucking useless army. It's like you have these people armed to the gills and you get devoured in one episode. So it's like, or two, but still, it's like nobody gets justice. Everybody feels like they're in the same playing field. When you have an army against Joe, like Joe, where did he got trained at? He got trained with Tommy with the Fireflies. Would he learn what he learned? Or I just wanted a little bit more juice on the bone. If it's gonna be like the epic, like
in
Yeah, go ahead.
season 2.
yeah, like others, it's supposed to be a season finale. You wanted more like over the top, like make it feel like, okay, cool, it's done. Like, okay, I understand why he went all through
Earned.
this and did that,
Make it feel earned.
Yeah, make it earn, exactly. Make the season like, oh, this is a badass season finale. Make you come back, But if because then at the end of the credits you stayed and it says like, oh yeah, we only added this at the beginning, and then after that we just stuck to the game. I was like, I'll be cool, but in episode 3 you guys deviated from the game. You added your own aspect of it. That would have been cool. You would have done this at the last episode. It would have been cool that you added your own spin to it. Let's add new stuff like you did in the beginning. Let's continue that, not just go there and then stick. It's like we're seeing the cutscene all over again. I was like, I wanted more, I was like, okay, cool, where's gonna go? I was like, that's it. It's the same as the game. I was like, it's all right, I guess.
Yeah.
I wish it was more like that. Like you rectify the Fireflies, rectify Joel, let him get a little pistol slap, let him get into a one-on-one combat, I would have been better, with Marlene at least. You're like, oh, you think you're better than me, Joel? Like type of thing,
Mm-hmm.
But no, we don't get that. We like, why is she the leader? Because what? She just was born into it, or who was a leader before her, or whatnot.
She wasn't born. She was like in her 40s, 50s.
No, I know what you mean, but why is she like the badass? Like, oh, all right, let's go, Joel. It's like, what? You're gonna fight me? Like, I won't fight you, Marlene. Type of thing. It's just you have to do it.
Yeah, true.
I don't know. That was just my sentiments. I wish it was more bloodthirsty instead of just tunnel vision, OP, Splinter Cell. We're done. I was like, no.
Yeah. All right. So that is our final thoughts. Overall, how did you feel about the series, though?
Overall, it was a good game adaptation. Like I said, they took some liberties here and there, and I like how the one thing that Walking Dead doesn't have over this is the why and how to cure it. Over here, we had all these elements. Like you finally get a final resolution, but we didn't get a final resolution, which is pretty cool.
Yeah, I liked it. I thought it was great that they were so faithful. But they still took a few risks. I feel like that's the start of expanding upon, because like we already have this medium, and the reason it did so well was because that medium existed and was consumed by so many.
Yes.
So yes, taking those risks and expanding upon your freaking lore is why we look forward to these things. So yeah, they dabbled in it a little bit, but I want to see
Yeah.
more, and I think it was a good start for it. Yeah.
And it goes back to the same thing that you said before. Is like if you go too far off the game, then people will be like, oh, what is this garbage? Or if you go too much, you're like, oh, I already played it, so I already know what's gonna happen. So it's find that nice balance of adding a little new to be like, oh, I didn't know about this. Like add the little DLC instead of the game, add it here. Look, I was thinking about this, but I never pulled the trigger on it. So let's do it here. People were like, oh shit, that didn't happen in the game, and then they'll be like more intrigued.
Yeah.
Like do here and there, it would have been cool.
All right, so that's it. That's our opinions on the whole show. The Last of Us is over for the time being. It's like the highest grossest HBO show ever or something. So it's gonna be back for sure.
Yeah, so I heard they're gonna recast Ellie because of course she needs to be older.
I don't know, maybe.
Or they're gonna pull it off until she naturally ages.
No,
the actor.
She's 21.
Sheesh. How old is she in the game? Like 30?
In the game? I don't know, man. I never even played the second one.
Oh, okay. I did. I
forgot. It's not much longer.
It's like a 5-year gap, I think, after that.
Yeah. So, all right. There we go.
All right, guys. This has been our whole recap of The Last of Us, episode 8. And this one will drop later on today. For the Hero Magen, I am the zombie. This is and has been the Hitman and the Zombie show. Till next time, much love and